Leon. He's the secretary, but he looked for the funding for us. And majority of the big amount of money that we have now is we got it from Science Malaysia conference. And so for this committee, what is your plan to make sure that what's the strategy you have in your mind in order to secure more funding in the future?
We don't have any plans to hold a conference this year, so I guess our main way of getting finance would be through sponsorships, like companies coming in and probably like supporting us. But yeah, apart from that.
Do you think that fundraising will be your role, or should be there should be a dedicated position to do that?
I think fundraising will be my role because it's under the finance and like the money of OUMC. But that's not to say that it limits the role. Like if Henry wants to appoint someone else to help specifically looking at sponsorship, then I guess it's not limiting the option.
Someone raised their hand. Yes, okay.
Wait, can I, because it sort of links to, sorry. You were saying like trying to get sponsors to fund you, but you're not actually going to organize like a conference or something. So how are you going to convince the people to fund you, like funders? We're not doing anything but funders. So can you sort of just elaborate or clarify a bit more?
I guess in terms of branding, so they can brand, like if we send out newsletters, they can have branding, so if they want to sponsor us, do that way. But I guess, and then if they want to come in and talk and then sponsor us through that, yeah, but I have no like firm plan.
Okay. So Leong Kim was the first.
So I'm essentially picking the lowest hanging fruit of a question. But in light of what we said already, I don't know if this question is going to be as relevant as it is, but if you do turn out to have as much money as this year's committee, in light of the recent debacle of the alleged misappropriation of funds for supposedly very expensive quote-unquote makan event, what is your stance on using a proportionate or supposedly disproportionate amount of money for social events and others?
I think again that was the committee's decision to spend the money, and if as a group they decide to spend and if that's reasonable for them, then that's for them to say. But I think for our committee, within us, if we decide what's reasonable, I think that's very subjective. So if we make plans and then we discuss and then we decide what's reasonable.
Well, my question is that you're going to be judging next year.
Yeah.
So you'll be one of the 5 people who will be making the decision.
Yeah.
So I want to know firmly, as the likely judge, what is your opinion on what this committee did?
I don't know the exact details, like how much exactly, so.
Okay, okay, fine. Let me rephrase. Do you think that social events deserve as much money as, say, speaker events or anything else? Or what would be your priority in allotting funds to different kinds of events? I suppose that would be better phrase it.
I guess it will be in line with the president and vice president, what their main goals are. So that's like welfare. And also I think this year we want to prioritize bonding. So I guess that would be makan events. But in terms of like speaker events, I think that depends on who we invite and how much we need to spend on that. So once again, that's based on committee discussion.
Okay. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah. Do you see yourself having a role that goes beyond money-related issues? Like, say, would you provide manpower to a speaker event?
As in, I provide.
Yeah, like, would you just manpower? Like, yeah, like, or I mean,
I don't see my role like limited to just finance. I do want to help out with like organizing, even like outreach, because I think that's important too. So yeah, that's in the line of what I want to do. So no, not just for my related.
Okay. Zaidan?
So my committee at one point we had huge problems in finding sponsorships. So to again put it in the context of this experience, we had to go out really hard to try to get sponsorship. And people don't really come and just give money usually. So would you be prepared to do, in light of that, would you be prepared to do such work to go out and try to find sponsorship? Because in my opinion, it's not going to be easy to just wait for sponsorship to come. It won't. So if you are prepared to do it, what kind of strategy will you do? Is it teamwork? Will it be your job? Or what is the organization?
So if we appoint sponsorship person in charge, then I guess I'll work together and we'll work hard to get the sponsorships. But if it's my role, I think we'll discuss who we want to target to get sponsorships from, and then go and email them and call them and see how they want to support us.
Yes,
sir. Time for me.
Yeah, there's time.
Okay, thanks. Well, this isn't the question per se. It's just, given that you don't have firm plans about how you're going to go about getting sponsorship yet, one of the things you mentioned was trying to use the sort of branding appeal that we have to get companies to come in and pay. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a very sort of, I always thought that to be a slightly short-term-ish approach, because what we're doing is essentially grabbing onto a company, squeezing money out of them, and then they start bugging us to send them their CVs, and they think that they have a right to employ all the people coming out of Oxford Foundation and so on. And then they realize they don't get enough bang for their buck, and then they drop us. And then we go on and suck another company. And then we just move around. We've done Axiata, we've done YTL, and then I don't know how long Shell's gonna last, but we last a long time. So yeah, and someone won't even return our call. So I mean, I just think that there should be something more than just the prestige aspect of it.
Because previously, I think that the committee before us, they didn't do a lot of sponsorship. They expected people to give money. In the end, they just stopped because the fact was, OUMC was doing nothing in their eyes. What they see, market event, that seems like nothing. So that's what what I think by our experiences is what we feel about sponsorship. And I suppose the question really is, how are we going to sell the club in a sense?
So I guess if it's not looking at a specific company, maybe. I haven't really thought exactly how we're gonna do sponsorships, but
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Like give you that thought, yeah.
You don't have to answer.
Yeah, I don't have time on it. Really research that well.
Any other questions? Really? No questions? Yes.
I think since the fact that he asked other questions means there's time. Since the conversation started, I think just to finalize what they said, this whole thing about companies sponsoring our club in return for a couple of CVs from our guys, I think it's a fairly, it's quite safe to say that it's a fairly outdated model by now, because as of now, after seeing this for 2 years, I think it's preposterous to tell companies that trying to tell the companies that hiring one Oxford guy is more lucrative than hiring an army of 50 LSE accountants. So, and given that we don't have the numbers, probably it's high time to rethink, to link the big question of what is the club for to the question of what you can sell the club as. The value add must be a very clear link.
To reflect what Chong Gua's time, what his idea was, essentially was trying to sell OUMC as another platform where people, can invite people to come in and discuss about issues in Malaysia. It's finally a big idea, but that was what he tried to sell, I think, in a sense, to sell to some of the companies. At least in what he gave me that feeling. So I suppose it's time to think about how we're gonna. It's not gonna be. I don't think that companies will be content to just say, oh yeah, I find you that. I don't think that's.
well, I guess if we're looking at welfare and we know that we want to target upcoming students, I think that can be an area where we can sell OUMCS in that sense. In terms of how future students coming in and how that may benefit the company. But I guess you have to think about it.
I know you guys are more interested into bonding and welfare and stuff you mentioned. But essentially, when you talk about funding, organizing a program is the way to go. Like it or not, that's how you get money. So if you're interested in welfare, you do something about it, like with welfare fee, and then you can get money from there.
Yeah, definitely a few things to think about. And on that note,
Is that fine? No.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. One thing that you mentioned is transparency. So, is that just transparency within the committee or within the whole society? Like, are you going to inform members how you're spending the money, and if so, how? And if you're informing members on how you're spending the money, what if the majority of the members disagree on how you're spending the money? Say they don't think you should spend that much money on, for example, makan events or social events. They feel like you should put in more effort in some other sort of events. What? Yeah.
So I think it's difficult to please everyone, and we can't be like getting everyone's decision about every event. So I think the fact that if we're voted for committee and we will make the rational like decisions on what we want to spend on and what we prioritize and yeah.
So will you let the members know how you're spending the money, or is
Yeah,
that just?
I think like I'll document it into Excel and then we can present it in an AGM or how often?
Just so you know, I've moved everything to Google Docs.
Google Docs, so everyone can access it anytime.
At the moment, as it is, nobody has the right to see it except me. I haven't made that available to you yet. On that note, would you like to thank Esther once again? Okay, should we have the final candidate for this evening for welfare officer Ang Hui Min?
Hello everyone, I'm Hui Min and I'm doing mathematics in the Yale. So throughout the past 4 months, I actually enjoyed my time in Oxford very much because I feel very welcomed by the fellow Malaysians, even though I spent like past 4 years in Singapore. So I would like to actually give back to the club by having the opportunity to become the welfare director. What I would like to do are assisting Brian in his bonding and welfare ideas.
No, nothing. Go on.
Yeah, and I would try to be a listener to the problems. Try, okay, because I'm not a very good problem solver sometimes. Yeah, and thirdly, I would like to have this idea of exam/5th week packs, study packs, because during 5th week, people go like, oh my god, cannot stand, or during exams like people will go, oh very stressed, cannot tahan already. So this study pack is to keep people going, to like motivate all of us to continue strive for better results or something like that. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Question for him? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you thought about this before. I was wondering, do you have any preferences over, say, if you were at a social event with other national societies or societies in general, which societies would you?
That's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to have social events with other national clubs. I wouldn't reject that. I will look into that and then
Second.
Alright, so adding on the national level, I mean that my time we did it before, we did it with Hong Kong South, we did it with South before, yes, South. Drinks and so on, so that's definitely doable, we've done it before. But my question is this. So, I mean our welfare seems to be like, makan and stuff. There's one thing I remember in the first during my time, we always think about sports. Would you think that, this guy agrees. So would you think that, your welfare role, does it involve, trying to organize, say, badminton sessions, say, frisbee sessions? So this kind of thing, would you think that in your role would you actively want to push it?
Yeah, I don't mind organizing these events if like people actually want to go to these kind of events.
Well, I mean,
what I see right now is that like some people try to organize and the turnout rate is not very good.
Okay, but then my experience is this. Usually, it's more like people on the whim, they suddenly see someone invite, they will come. Like this morning, I just said, come for 50, 10 a.m. Immediately one extra guy came, like, oh, cool. So the question is this, would you rather not do it at all, or would you want to do something at all? Because as far as I know, people if let's say it's being organized, there will be a certain turnout.
Oh, then I would definitely do it, because why not? Like, we can bring people together. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Sorry, long
You
time.
go.
I forgot.
Was it that raise your hand?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, two questions. One, earlier you said you were assist Brian in bonding. So one, could you elaborate more on bonding as to like what kind of events or like who are you targeting in these bonding sessions? And secondly, you mentioned fifth week or exam snack packs or whatnot. Could you elaborate more on how you plan to achieve that? Because you will have exams as well, and are you the one that's gonna run around and give people packs, or like are you gonna pitch it to them, or I don't know, are they gonna come and collect it from you? I mean just to have a better idea.
Okay, so for first question, bonding events are like makan events, social events. We could have like tours, or like what Zygon suggested as well, like what's that called? Sports. Sports. Yeah, I think these three are the main social events that we could have to get people together. And as for the study snack packs, I'm thinking of doing way ahead so that I could I would do it before the beginning of the term, so I could actually they are not fresh food for obvious reasons. Then I could give out during fifth week, I guess. I think I can handle that.
Yes, Jimmy?
What about welfare of postgrads and integrating undergrads and postgrads? Do you have any plans? If so, what?
I think the events that we mentioned just now are not just limited to undergrads, so postgrads could actually join as well. And the integration of postgrads and undergrad actually could be done if the postgrads join us.
So how would you
How would you
how would you encourage?
Yeah. Just a comment, this has been an eternal problem
Yeah.
for as long as I remember.
When I had it was one of my aim, to change the situation to get more postgrads, because I was the president for postgrads before UNC, and I thought that would be easier for me to get them to join. It's not. So, good luck.
Ryan mentioned something about postgrad officer, which I think is actually a very good idea, but you shouldn't just limit it to doing what postgrad wants to do, but trying to work with them and sort of take into considerations what postgrad would want to do with undergrads.
My experience was, I think the Raya Haji lunch was pretty good because the huge number of postgrads came in. Most of them were postgrads and didn't see a undergrad. So that's it.
Energy, barbecue, all these social events are the platform for you to get postgrads and undergrads together.
I think the problem or solution is not about having a postgrad officer.
Mm.
Is that the undergrads as a whole and the committee as a whole should genuinely
Mm.
care about the postgrads.
Mm.
You should acknowledge the existence of postgrads, and I feel like by having a postgrad officer, you are acknowledging that there's a problem between the two of you, because you don't have an undergraduate officer,
Mm.
right? You have a, you want to, so you should have these events and specifically target the postgrads, like genuinely say, okay, you guys exist, we care about you. That, you know,
I mean,
I feel like
That's my question now.
yeah, go.
Sorry, boss. Sorry. So, okay. This is part question and part comment. My question is, do you have any plans to get us really good discounts from restaurants? I did it really, really well. The comment part is that, okay, you can answer my question after I finish this bit, but it's just like, I just feel that a lot of what goes on in welfare and a lot of how members bond is quite organic. So actually a lot of what, I mean, you obviously have to try to make it, you shouldn't get in the way, but I think a lot of it is actually down to the individual initiative on the part of the members. And, you know, I think you shouldn't, any welfare rep shouldn't beat themselves up too much if people don't want to join and stuff, because a lot of it is actually about what people want and what people don't want. And the same comes to postgrad as well. By all means, we don't feel welcome, but respect their choice of whether or not they want to participate. So, yeah.
Okay,
Discuss. Come on.
thank you for your comments. I think you guys don't have to worry, because you have a VP, soon to be, if he ever becomes, he will bug me to go and search for discounts. Yeah, so vote for him as well. As he likes to eat lah.
Now we know all about Brian.
Any further questions for Pei Min?
Yeah,
Yes.
just more, I need more details about this study pack. What is it? Some more
It's like-
concrete details. And is it just for undergrads or is it for
No, it's
postgrads as well? Or how does it work? Are you gonna page it to us or what?
Okay, so
Yeah.
basically it's just like a pack
Okay.
with sweets, like snacks inside. Okay, I know it's unhealthy, but you know when you are very stressed and you suddenly see something that when you suddenly receive something big and like an encouraging note and you go like, yay, it made my day. It might not be something big, something expensive. It's not something that's going to last you forever, like don't know, 3 weeks or so, but you know, like yeah, that idea.
Show that you care lah.
Yeah.
You say study pack like so serious.
Yeah.
Something very substantial.
So, just a question from me. Do you have an idea as to how many OUMC members are there?
good question.
How many study?
If you're not sure, take a guess.
150.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think you should clarify the question. How many existent or how many active?
Yeah.
In Oxford.
In
Oh, okay.
Well, with regards to actually preparing the study pack, because it could be quite a huge workload, let's say.
Yeah, and like I said, because you would have exams as well. So during exam period, it will be quite tough to.
I think should be 100.
Okay.
Well, any more questions?
Right. Any further questions? Okay. If not, should we thank Pei Min? All right. I guess that wraps up all the candidates who are running for positions. Thank you very much for attending the first ever Hastings Day for Oxford University Malaysia Club. I believe there are some drinks if you are interested, and the video will be posted shortly after, maybe with possible transcripts, or so if you're not clear about what they actually said during the video. So thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Can I say
Yes.
something? Right, so okay, so this is in regards of the EGM actually. So I just posted the event up, so there will be 10th of March, 8 p.m. at St. Catherine's College. So I would say that I suggest people to just do come and listen to especially I think that if you're running for position and you do get it, I think it's a very good idea to come and listen. What kind of problems that are there in there, because it's good to learn from mistakes from the past. I think that's another part that we used to have a bit of problem, because when we inherited, we don't know anything, kind of nearly everything. So it's always good to have, to listen to what happened before. So I think that's a good opportunity. But the rest of you do come. It's at St. Catherine's College. Be there at 7:50.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it compulsory for the running officer to attend AGM?
AGM.
The annual general meeting, you mean?
You mean like
Yes.
one? Oh. Wow.
Since we're on the AGM, I have to announce that I'm still in the process of sourcing for a venue, because I have had like 6 to 7 rejections already. I need to look for, it's Oxfest Day, so it's very competitive to look for a place. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, we thank everyone for coming and have a good evening.